So good morning students. So today we are going to start one new unit for you, that is your drug stability and reaction kinetics. So with this, the reaction kinetics, we need to know what is the rate of reaction, what is the order of reaction, and how it is utilized to find out different kinetics, and also how it is useful for the stability studies. So that's why it's both are related, drug stability and reaction kinetics. Without knowing the kinetics, we cannot find out the stability analysis and we cannot find out the shelf life of the drugs. So with this, let us start about the introduction part that already you know in the intermediate, and this is all about rate and order of reaction. So generally chemical kinetics, in that we can know about what is the degradation of the particular drug, how the concentration of the chemicals decreased during the reaction, and that is known as your chemical kinetics. And also generally in the rate and order of reaction, we need to find out particularly the velocity of the rate of reaction, velocity of the reaction at first, how much faster it is able to react with each other and giving the product. So it's a relationship when two things are reacting with each other or two reactants are reacting with each other, then one product is formed, and that product concentration will increase slowly when the reaction proceeds, but simultaneously the concentration of these reactants will decrease. So that's why it's very important to know that how the reaction is processed and which type of kinetics it follows, which type of order of reaction it follows. So let us start about the rate and order of reaction. First of all, rate of reaction, which is known as your velocity of the reaction, how much faster the drug is reacting with each other to give a product. So generally we are denoting dC by dt. It may be your positive sign or negative sign, and this is rate of change of concentration with respect to time, rate of change of concentration with respect to time. So that may be positive or that may be negative. If it is positive, then we can tell it is your concentration is increasing. If it is negative, then concentration is decreasing. So that's why from these signs we can know the concentration is increasing or concentration is decreasing. Now coming to the order of reaction, let us take one example of this reaction, that is A plus B, and it is giving a product. But before that, small a b written. What is small a b? It is an example. It is your molar concentration of, or we can molecularity of these two chemical substances. A and B both are chemical substances. Here we are taking one example. So that's why A is one chemical, B is one chemical, which are reacting with each other to give the product. So this is your concentration of A and concentration of B. So the rate we can write as minus 1 by A into d molar concentration of A divided by dt. Then we can write minus 1 b d molar concentration of B divided by dt. So that means here negative sign indicates that the concentration is decreasing. And here after that we will get a final equation, that is K molar concentration of A to the power small a, molar concentration of B to the power small b. Then this K we got here, that is known as rate constant, and sometimes it's called as specific rate constant. Sometimes it's called as specific rate constant. And here the powers you can see A and B, that is your order of reaction. We will take summation of A plus B, that is known as order of reaction. So this is all about your rate and order of reactions. This is a basic thing. Now let us go for the order of reactions. Generally in our pharmaceutical field, when the drugs are reacting, it follows zero order reaction, first order reaction, pseudo zero order reaction, pseudo first order reaction. So let us start about zero order reactions. So let us take one the reaction rate, d minus dA divided by dt is equal to K. So here it is a zero order reaction that indicates that it is independent of concentration of reactants. That means the rate of reaction is independent of concentration of reactants. That means it is not dependent on the concentration of reactants. The reaction will proceed automatically without changing the concentration. The concentration may change, but it is not affected the final product. So that's why we are calling as it is independent of rate of reaction. So we can write like that, minus dA divided by dt is equal to K for zero order reaction. Now we can integrate that equation. If we integrate, we have to take A0 AT values. So A0 means it is the initial concentration or the original concentration. AT means it is your concentration at time, concentration at different time intervals. So then when we will take integration, we will get minus K, because here K we can see here, and dt means this here dt we are taking to right side. So dt means we are taking the integration value 0 to t, we have to integrate. Now the final after integration we will get integration of dA, we will get AT minus A0 is equal to minus KT, minus KT. Then we can rearrange the equation. AT is equal to A0 minus KT. Then also we can rearrange once again to find out the rate constant. To separate the rate constant, we can write K is equal to A0 minus AT divided by T. So this is the final calculation for calculation of rate constants. Now we can also calculate the half life, because half life, shelf life is both important thing, because half life we can get immediately by not wasting the more time. So half life means the time required to 50% of the concentration to be decreased. 50% reaction will be proceed in that. Half life we can write T half, that is your half A0 divided by K, or we can write A0 divided by 2K. We can write A0 divided by 2K. That is half life of zero order reaction. Shelf life means the time taken by the reactant to complete 90% of the reaction. 90% of the reaction. Half life means 50% of the reaction. Shelf life means 90% of the reaction. We can write T 90% or we can write T 0.9. So that we can get A0 minus 0.9 A0 divided by K. So by this we can calculate your shelf life of the drug. Now let us go for first order reaction. So the first order reaction we can write schematic reactions, we can write here A, because first order means one reactant. So one reactant is changing to product. So one reactant we are taking A here. Then we can write dC by dt equal to Kc. dC by dt equal to Kc. Then we can write dC by C, if we rearrange, dC by C is equal to minus K dt. Then we will integrate by taking C0 to C. We can integrate by taking C0 to C. Of dC by C is equal to minus K and integration of dt. Because minus K why writing here? Because it is a constant. We cannot integrate the constant. It will be same. So minus K value we are separating. We are integrating the differential value of t. Then we are taking the value 0 to t. After integration, what we will get? We will get ln value. We will get ln C minus ln C0. That equal to minus K into t minus 0, because 0 to t we are taking. So value will be t to t minus 0. Then the final equation will be minus ln C is equal to ln C0 minus KT. Then if we will convert this ln value to logarithmic values, then we will get a fraction. The fraction will be included, that is 2.303 value. After integration, after changing to log form, we can get log C is equal to log C0 minus KT divided by 2.303. You can see here only changes we got is 2.303. divided by 2.303. So this is the final equation for first order reaction. First order reaction. So it is now half life we can calculate, the value will be 0.693 divided by K. 0.693 divided by K. So you have to remember these values, remember these formulas, because this will be useful in the stability studies. Then shelf life, that is equal to 0.105 divided by K. With this, the another two things there, two order of reactions, that is your pseudo zero order reaction and pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo zero order reaction and pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo zero order means it's not actually a zero order reaction. So that's why it's written pseudo, false. Pseudo means false. So actually the pseudo zero order is a first order reaction, but the concentration of one reactant is so high. The concentration of one reactant is so high that we cannot find out the decrease in concentration of that. So suppose example, if you take HCl and water, HCl you will take 1 ml, will take 100 ml of water. Then in that the quantity of water is more, and we cannot find out how much amount of water is decreased in the reaction. So that's why the concentration is so high as comparison to HCl. So same type here in the pseudo zero order reaction, what will happen? It is actually a first order reaction, but the concentration of reactant is so high so that it is looking like a zero order reaction, because concentration is not changing, it's looking like independent of concentration. So that's why it's your pseudo zero order reaction. So other things will be remain same. Then coming to pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo first order reaction also similar to like pseudo zero order. Pseudo first order means it is actually not a first order, but it's a second order reaction. Two reactants we are taking here for the reaction, but one concentration is so high. One concentration of the reactant is so high so that we cannot predict, we cannot determine the decrease in concentration. So that's why we are writing as it's a first order reaction. Although it's a second order, but we are telling it as a first order. So that's why it's called as pseudo first order reaction. So this is all about your order of reactions. So in the next class, we'll discuss about different types of, we'll start the stability studies and different types of pathways of drug decompositions, and also slowly we'll go for the calculation of stability studies. Thank you.